Good afternoon. It is the 8th of February 2018, and the cryptocurrencies making a move. And the shorts are most certainly getting hurt in here, as the price action for Litecoin right now up about modest, sarcastically speaking, but maybe not really, 28 and one third percent. Amongst the single hour term time frame, it went off this morning. I covered it before. It went off again because it was $37 when I was talking about it earlier. Now it's 42. It was as high as a little over 40. Very interesting. How is this doing against the Bitcoin? Is it rising to the same enormous percent in that of 42 before we get there, though? Within Litecoin, this is just making a move long term to the 18 average of high. So keep that in mind. And that's enough to make the band flatten out. Any decent gains above, basically breaking above 50, means an attempt to revert the trend. And against that of Bitcoin, it's pretty much reversal of trend for stage one band flatten out, which occurred mid-December. Establish resistance Christmas. Come back to support the very next period. Break established resistance is doing that today. Okay, bull market. We'll see how well this goes, how much of a gain this is able to come into place. For the opportunity of a failed breakout is still in play. I don't know what the chances of that is going to be, nor do I really want to try to speculate too much upon such. But the gain, major breakout above this level of resistance, and when I mentioned before, it was a fast move. It was less than 5 minutes. And this one, this last one, little slower. And I say a little slower. I mean, yeah, just a little bit, because it really started, it broke above resistance at 11:48, and then it topped at like 11:54. So an additional minute or two. Yeah. Okay. Volatility very big. So I sold again at 119. I sold at the 100 handle. I sold at the 110 handle. I sold at the 120 handle. What does this mean as a buyer? Well, originally I was looking to, after I sold at, up here, I was looking to buy at 100. Now I pretty much should keep it at 100, but 104 or so. And I'm just going to keep selling on the next 10-point basis move. I'm selling next to get at the 130 handle. Bitcoin is also up. It's up that of 7.75%. A lot of shorts, a little bit of concern for the shorts, as that's what happens with markets and up and down moves. Decently a statement move, as is above nicely that of the 18 average of highs. Holding and staying above this previous level where it came from is around 34 change. 35 would be an ideal area. It's gotten up to this first little area here. The next little area up top would be about 4,000. And thus, on its shorter term, then we'll go to the long term. We'll start off within the single hour. It happened fast. A lot of momentum. It's starting at 3 in the morning and just grinding its way up like this, and then off she goes. How you doing kind of move. 15-minute time frame beforehand. This is what we've seen. So 4 o'clock, and I didn't show this because I gave a very quick look at Bitcoin this morning. Didn't even look at the short term. And it had this great move, and then this little period in here from 9 a.m. to that of 10:15. How it supported this level of resistance was just huge and magnificent. Therefore, its move happened within really these two periods, within under half an hour, 5-minute time frame. Well, it happened in under 15 now because there was this decent one and then two big ones. So these two are the ones that stand out. 1-minute time frame. Well, I guess it's consistent from this period up to this one. So it started at 11:46. It concluded at 11:53. 7 minutes. 7 minutes of time. The market goes from 34 and 3/4 up to 37 hair above. Therefore, 200 and a half almost. It has now since grinded its way lower, giving back 30% of or so of its move higher, getting close to a 38.2% retracement. And will we continue to see a sideways move, and then buyers would come in, of course, at any time? Of course, short term on here in 1 minute, I don't want to talk about that for 1 minute analysis. It's definitely not worth it. Rather, 50, obviously the big move was big, well extended above a lot of these short, but not as short as the 1-term levels. And then looking at the opposite, or the TUSD, which is now down to 27,000, was in the 29,000 high level before this happened, getting close to the 30,000 number. So it's obviously broken down below this 18, an attempt to make a new high. When you have a situation of point A high after a good rally, made any type of high or low, this one just was a really good one. And especially if it's a really good high or low, that you are able to break resistance and you are able to control this level of key support, which in Bitcoin means a little over 4,000. And that's not good for this type of fund or a code. It's most likely not going to be pretty, which means for shorts, it's not going to be pretty. So going back to Bitcoin, we'll take a look at this more long term in a bit, but Fibonacci 36.99 was the key number. The high right now again at 37.11. So therefore this number 34.70, to say it's a must hold after today's move would be an understatement, to say the least. Getting it above it again, previous high, previous key or key resistance of Fibonacci number at 4,100. Let's remove these lines to take a look at this more long term. Within its weekly chart, it's just hanging in there. It's not really doing much, really. It's continuation of the last three with a little bit of higher volatility. Thus again, just up to this more short-term resistance level, doing a time correction within this point A move to this point B, this low, but this is a sideways move. So it's met up through that of time to the 18 average of highs, or lows rather. 18 average of lows officially on this, or mathematically, I'd like the term better, comes in that of 3,706, which is pretty good considering the high today right now is 37.11. I hit within that. A move, the 18 average of highs is in at 42.87. So therefore, it has to get up to the just the upper end of this congestion area level, previous highs, to just get to that point there, which is the 18 average of highs is what it needs to go to, at least to attempt to flatten out this 18 average. And then getting above that is an attempt to revert the trend. Whereas long term now on the monthly chart, this move is like nothing. It's still doing like yada, yada, yada. 18 average is sideways, starting to want to decline. And what will make it do so is just that, falling below this level of support. For if price action stays where it is now, up to where the 18 average of lows is, and that is it at 51 change, then it's just going to continue grinding its slow rate to set down. And then staying within this area will definitely make this go flat. Sideways consolidation, we're talking about, okay, are we going to go neutral? Because neutrality will be the previous high and the current low. So therefore, in that of 31 and 17.98, all that type of stuff. So keep that in mind. And finally, before I go, and I hate to talk about the pessimistic point of view, but I have to look at all possible scenarios. If there hypothetically was going to be a move that would make this break this sideways move and go down to this level like 23, or any large move, sort of like this down move and then this one breaking support, the previous two legs lower, the first going to 6, the next going to 3, then I would expect like a third decent leg lower. And before such, would there be any type of rally move? This one didn't have it. It just did all this sideways, nothing volatility, and then it's made its move to the downside. So I'm pessimistic. I would feel that it's more likely to state that the bottoms are still near than it is that it's not, obviously. I think there's a better chance of that. For me, though, I'm not going to try to make any type of wage or pull out some cash and bet that. I don't want to do that. I'm already betting on cryptocurrencies as it is. So therefore, whether it is or it isn't, I have them. And as I mentioned in my previous video, the majority of my crypto assets I put in a hardware wallet, which is Bitcoin, and that of Litecoin. As in case anything happens, I want to make sure that I have access to the hardware wallets, access to physical silver and gold at any given moment I may need to have that. Having access to crypto exchanges, having to be able to do what you want, trade or move funds or deposit, withdraw funds, well, that's not always in your control. And with a banking system, when you want to go online or on your app to do transfers or go there to get paper rectangles, that may not always be available. And within paper rectangles, well, there might come a time frame where people don't want to accept it. Same thing with Bitcoin. But I'm not going to say that same thing with gold and silver, though. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye bye.